Hello everyone, so today I'm gonna record some of my editing process in the Lightroom, and many of you have requested in the comments about how to edit these photos, and these photos are from the last weekend using the 50mm F1.8 lens from the Sony. So I'm just gonna do a quick editing process, but this video I'm just going through with what I usually edit through this, and then later on I exported them to my phone to do some photo editing, but I'm just more focusing on the Lightroom editing for this one. So first of all, these are all reset to the raw files, ARW compressed raw file and 50mm. So what I'm gonna do is, there's a feature if you highlight all, you turn on the auto sync in this here, the button here, auto sync, so that I'm gonna modify the profile. By default, when you input the file, the profile is Adobe Color. There are a lot of other profile I have mentioned in other videos before. The profile is I prefer a different profile than the Sony original profile. The Sony original profile looks a little bit more yellow to me, so I discover I like the Adobe Vivid. It pretty more adding a little bit more color, especially for the fall color. So I'm gonna use this one. So after I clicked it, you can see that the bar was like modified a little bit. Then I'm gonna apply a little bit of the correction, but not too much because it is 50 lens, and then the vignetting maybe just half. There's not so much distortion in the 50mm lens, so this one just leave it. And vignetting you can just adjust a little bit. So okay, so I start from here. You can see the syncing once you click the auto sync, and after that I click each photo at a time to edit. So this one is brighter and then this one is not as bright, so what I'm gonna do is reduce the exposure and around this, and then reduce the highlight a little bit. So if you want the front a little bit more light, I can just do a this one, the mask, edit a little bit more shadow light. So usually maybe just 20 something, a little bit more light in front. So this is just edit a little bit more light. After that, I'm going to increase the shadow a little bit. So there are a couple ways you can do for the medium lights. So you can increase here, the medium here, and then reduce the dark so that it is more contrasty. You can see that that's the difference. And this is a medium mid-tone. I can just slightly increase a little bit, and then highlight save. So I'm gonna do some cropping so that you can see how I crop the photos. Make sure that the head is around top third area, and I'm gonna include this flare a little bit right here. So yep, so that's it. And you can zoom in to check, and this lighting is pretty good to me. I can increase that a little bit. So the next one, so I finished this one, and some of you have seen my previous photo editing in Lightroom. I purchased this Imaginomic Portraiture 3, and if you like this quick edit, you can do a smooth manually, but I use this one just for quick edit on the skin. So usually I do a patch one by one first, and then you choose the skin tone that you want to mask. Basically just do a quick mask and then save, and just want to show you the result a little bit. And then later on I'm gonna do a bulk copy. So this is the one, and then I command shift E for export, and then export full 100%, because from the compressed raw to the TIFF, and then full 100% quality of JPEG. So export this one to my file system. The next one, so I'm gonna do it quickly. So the background is already pretty nice, and just a little bit more lights in front. So we can do it in here, the mid-tone, increase the mid-tone so that the mid-tone is brighter. And I don't want too much dark already, so it's already, let me reduce a little bit more. I'm gonna do the same thing, put some more lights in here. So this time is 29. You can add more lights in front. Just add a little bit more lights in front. Yep. And after that, you can increase the shadow a little bit more so the overall tone is brighter. And let me reduce a little bit. So for the composition, it's a little bit more space, too much space on the left. So I'm gonna reduce for the composition. And you can preview in here also. So I'm gonna reduce a little bit more. So this is good. And yep, so this overall is good. I'm gonna just do a copy, and then paste it to this one. I think I posted this one before. So, and I'm gonna do the same thing, add a little bit more lights in front so that to brighten up the front a little bit. This is too much, so let me do one more time. So I'm gonna add a little bit here on top, and then do a new, and then very subtle in the bottom area, just some subtle brightness in here, and then increase the contrast, and then you can increase a little bit more exposure overall, reduce the highlight save. And this one we can crop from Instagram 4:5. So this is gonna be just my editing process. If you you can skip to the end also. So it's gonna be, I'm gonna be edit couple more in a row right here, just how I'm usually editing right here. So this is good. And some people, if you don't like some distracting background, this white dot right here, you can see from far away the white dot is kind of distracting. So you can, what you can do is remove this white dot right here. You can zoom in a little bit, and then what I'm gonna do right here is to patch the white dot right here. So patching the white dot, and you can adjust a little bit but not too much on the white side. Yep. And then what I'm gonna do is soften this a little bit so that this area is not too distracted, because it's from far away, it's a little bit distracted to me. So after I zoom out, it's good, not too obvious there. So from the whole image standpoint. And sometimes if you don't like the dot right there is distracting, you can just do a small patch right here and it won't be noticeable, so that it's not distracting for the overall picture. Yep. So it's just a little bit of changes, depends on your favorite, what's your style. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit around it. So this is the 50mm F1.8. It costs $198. It's I rented this lens just for the weekend, so this is pretty good to me. I'm gonna just copy this tool and then right click, edit image, portraiture 3, and then edit to them. So gonna do the copy, after that copy the edits. So this one, see, automatically updated, the detected the skin color. If not, you can point to the skin color, it only mask the skin color only. So after this, just paste, and I'm gonna export export to the folder, and I go back to the raw file ARW, and then copy, edit, and then paste, because these two are in the same lighting. And because of this, I'm gonna do a little bit of shadow again, probably around 17, not too much. The bottom is a little bit much, so I'm gonna do the top first and do the same sequence, but reduce the shininess in the bottom so that it's not too obvious, and then increase the exposure a little bit so the overall picture is like bright and happy. And then I'm gonna do a crop, so do the 4:5 crop. So for Instagram, you usually do 4:5 crop. And for those of you happen to see the previous one, you can see the small image, the white dot is pretty obvious to me. So I'm gonna just patch this white dot because it's distracting to the viewer's eyes for those little things. I'm trying to patch them so that it's not too noticeable. Okay, so it's from there, it's not too noticeable, so it reduces the editing. So overall this is good, and I will do the portraiture later. And then I'm gonna do this one, same, paste it. Here is too bright for this one, so this one is slightly different lighting. Reduce the and then let me reduce the Control C for the original cropping. This one you can use original cropping. For example, if you want for the story, it's better to have this original cropping. Or if you want more tree in the environment, just do a 4:5 cropping so that include more tree on the left side, and make sure the portrait is nice, bright and happy, because this vibe is shooting for the Shane clothing with Rosina. And then I'm gonna do the patching again slightly, and then put it to the bottom. Okay, slightly go down a little bit. Okay, so the patch right here, and I'm gonna smooth it out a little bit more so that it's not too noticeable. Okay, so this is good, and we can clean up a little bit of the bruises also, so just clean it up a little bit. Okay, so this is good. And for the composition, I'm gonna include top also, and I'm gonna highlight these two, and then do the image portraiture quick edits. So once it comes up, and then I can edit quickly on the skin, and so that here, and then click OK. Do the export to the folder. After that, export to the folder. Command Shift E, and then export to the folder. So these couple one are similar, and let me edit different ones. This one is similar lighting with this one also, so I'm checking which one are similar lighting with similar settings so that it saves the time. So basically these four have the similar lighting. I'm just gonna copy it. You can see that all four are synced now, and this one is similar to the same light that we have. I'm gonna adjust the horizontal the tilt so that it's nice vertical to the ground, and then basically you can see here, and then I can adjust this again. Yep, so it's around here. I'm trying to make a spot that is not too bright, and then do a soft skin over it. Okay, so this is good. Okay, so overall this lighting is good, and I can do a subtle retouch on that, on the shadow. So just add a little bit shadow, maybe around 12, just a little bit toucher in here. Yep, just a 12 for the shadow, and that's it for this one. And I'm gonna copy this one and then paste it to here, and I'm gonna add more shadow for this one because this one is darker. Add more shadow in front here, and then do a new, reduce the shadow, and then for the bottom area. So this is good, and I can see that there's a dot right there. I'm gonna remove that dot. Yep. And since we are here, I'm gonna just do one more, because that white dot is very distracting to me. I'm gonna like that, and then do a smoothing skin. Yep, so that's it. Okay, next is the cropping. So you can crop it right here. Around the frame. At the same time, you're watching the thumbnail to see from far away. Sometimes it helps for the composition from the thumbnail. And this is a good base color for me because it's a 4-color palette for the Instagram. So this is good. After this, I'm gonna do a half body edit. So this half body edit, you can let's do it half body, because the Instagram crop is 4:5, and at the same time, because this is really low angle from here, you can remove or not remove, is fine, because the main focus is on the head part, and you can leave more tree in the head, so it has some head room and bokeh on top as well. And let me reduce. I'm trying to make it vertical. Yep. So on the let me retouch a little bit of the face before we doing the yep, just some quick retouching. And for those of you want to see the smooth skin, and this is just a little bit of touch in the smooth skin right here, and then we are gonna do the portraiture 3 as well. So I'm gonna increase the shadow and then the mid-tone also slightly increase a little bit, and then down the tone. The next one, I'm gonna increase shadows. 10 is fine, just increase a little bit the overall shadow. Okay, so it looks pretty good to me. And then right click, since we modified these 3 already, so I'm gonna do these 3 and then edit 3 at a time. Okay, so after this I'm gonna edit the last one, since this is just my editing process. Basically they have the same process throughout. So we did a lot of shots in the Lake Tahoe. This is just a residential area, and let me show you the other one, the half body one. So it automatically selected that area, and you can double check to confirm it also. So save it, and then we can do the export again. Yep, so once it exporting, so this is my usual process of the editing. After that, and I export 3 files. That's it. So that's the main one. I'm gonna edit the last one here. This one, I don't want to crop the hands a lot, so I'm gonna do, because this is 4:5 Instagram crop. I don't want to crop the hand, so let me reduce like that. Okay, because you don't want to crop the fingers, just because this one, I like the expression. So, and then increase the shadow slightly, and let me do it like this. Reduce the shadow darkness, increase a little bit of the mid-tone, but not too much. So this looks pretty good. And then do a edit image portraiture. So this is the last one, and this is my first step. And then after that, I usually just do some tone adjustment in the visco. After that, just a slightly adjustment, and that's it. That's how you see it in the post in my Instagram. Check out my Instagram, Kari Ostarin, in the Instagram for the for more photos coming up. And after that, the last step, just export back to the file system. So this is my editing process using the Lightroom for the 50mm F1.8 editing. Stay tuned for more video coming up. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.